Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos where I take a look at all the new comic books coming out on either November 1st or 2nd, 2022. And I ask myself the question, what one new comic book would I buy this week if I could buy just one book? Let's go ahead and start off this video first by taking a look back at my pick from 2 weeks ago, which was Wind, The Throne in the Sky, issue number 3. And the question remains, was it a worthy and worthwhile book to be my just one book pick of the week? And the answer is kinda. For me, it was. For the general population, probably not as much. I really enjoyed it. I like the Wind series very much. And in fact, this particular issue was a better than average installment in the Wind series. So I liked it very, very much. That being said, if most people aren't already on board with Wind, issue number 3 of The Throne in the Sky was not going to get you very excited. You were not going to run out and pick up issue number 3 if you haven't been reading the rest of it. So that's why for the general population, it probably wasn't such a great pick. But for me, it was a good pick. The only other thing that made it a little bit less of an ideal pick for 2 weeks ago was that there was another book, Crypt of Shadows, issue number 1, which might have been a slightly better pick for the general population, because it was the second full appearance of Bloodline, Blade's daughter, and it was her first cover appearance on the A cover. So I actually picked up one of these and I enjoyed it. It was kind of like in the Tales of the Crypt kind of vein, where it had different short horror themed stories in the Marvel universe. It was entertaining and I enjoyed it, and it was time well spent as far as I was concerned, and it was a good collector's item in that, once again, it's the first cover appearance of Bloodline. It's selling for just a hair more than cover price on eBay before shipping and tax. So there is some value there on the secondary market currently. So once again, that might have been a slightly better pick. You hear Daisy? She wants to come visit. Oh, come on. All right. She wants to be in the video today. Look, it's still Halloween when I'm recording it. She's wearing her boo dress. Yeah, she likes her boo dress. Okay, Daisy. These videos are too long already, okay? So I have to get back to it, okay? Okay, thank you. But anyways, so Crypt of Shadows might have been a pretty good choice for the general population. If you picked it up, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward now with the books that are coming out this week. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to mention some books that I am pulling this week that are actually not part of my honorable mentions. The first book I want to mention to you is Count Crowley, Amateur Midnight Monster Hunter, issue number 4 of a 4-issue limited series. I'm picking this up because, as I've mentioned in other videos, I have been enjoying Count Crowley, especially the first series of this. A lot less this second volume of it, but it is still something I enjoy, and this is the final issue of it, so of course I'm picking it up. In addition, I'm also picking up Star Wars issue number 29. As I've mentioned many times before, I enjoy this Star Wars series, and I am still picking it up and checking it out, so I will be getting that this week. And then also I'm picking up Batman issue 129. Chip Zdarsky has not been failing me with his work on the Batman titles so far. This fail-safe storyline is pretty cool and pretty interesting and pretty engaging. So I'm all on board with that, and I'll absolutely be picking it up. I also just want to mention that DC is putting out these like ultimate 90s versions of books, like this one for Batman issue 129. It's a lot of embossed foil, full-on 90s cover goodness. They're doing a handful of these, and they might be doing them all month long. If this kind of thing interests you, you might want to consider checking them out and reserving them with your LCS, because it's possible that they'll be popular, maybe, but it's more possible that there will be allocations, and that means that stores might not get as many as they were hoping to get, so they may be limited. So if they're interesting to you, make sure you let your comic shop know that ahead of time so that you can get them reserved for you in your pull box. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk through the honorable mentions that I have this week. There's more than average, and once again, I'm sensitive about the length of these videos. I'll probably be commenting very little on these books this week. The first honorable mention I have for you is a new book. It is Batman and the Joker, The Deadly Duo, issue number 1 of a 7-issue limited series from DC. Here's the description. The Joker will go to any lengths to get Harley Quinn back after she is abducted by a strange culprit. But who? Mysterious, Joker-like monsters are stalking the streets of Gotham, collecting severed heads. But why? Jim Gordon is missing, and after receiving a package containing a bloody piece of Gotham's commissioner, Batman knows he must be willing to do anything to save him. But how? When the Joker proposes an uneasy alliance with Batman, the answers to those questions begin to become clear, and they will shake Gotham City and the Bat family to their core. This meticulously crafted tale of the Dark Knight's deadliest team-up will introduce you to a grim and gritty Gotham that only Mark Silvestri could bring you. This book is written and the art is done by Mark Silvestri. Okay, basically all I have to say about this book is if you like the idea of a story that features a Batman and Joker team-up, which actually sounds pretty interesting, this book might be one for you to consider this week. All right, the next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Nature's Labyrinth, issue number 1 of a 6-issue limited series from Mad Cave Studios. Here's the description. In the middle of the ocean lies a remote island complex lined with traps and an ever-changing landscape. Created by a mysterious man known only as Ahab, the island was designed to test the wills of the world's most notorious criminals. In a battle royale style game, 8 violent felons will fight for survival and to the death over the course of 3 days of relentless action. The winner receives a wealth of riches and complete anonymity, but at the cost of keeping their silence about the island's existence. What Ahab doesn't know is that someone is onto him. Someone has infiltrated his island with the intention of revealing the truth about this twisted game. Okay, this sounds like an interesting premise to me. Not entirely original, but interesting to me. So if you are interested in a comic book that's a limited series comic book of 6 issues, that's a cross, like I kept thinking it's a cross between like The Running Man and Squid Game. If that's something like that sounds interesting to you, you might consider Nature's Labyrinth this week. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Argus, issue number 1 from Source Point Press. Here's the description. Time travel is real. Scientific prodigy Randall Patton has had a breakthrough that allows travel through the time stream, which immediately led to the creation of the Argus. Bye, Daisy. The temporal law enforcement organization that polices the time-space continuum. After an accident renders one of the members of the Argus insane, he begins killing off the others, except they are all versions of Randall Patton from various points in his own life. Who can stop Randall but himself? Okay, I mentioned this one this week because it sounds, once again, like an interesting premise. Time travel stories I find fascinating. There are inherent problems with time travel that, what do they call them? What's the word when something can't exist when something else does at the same time, kind of thing? Paradoxes, I guess. But if you kind of get over those and just enjoy a time travel story, there could be a lot of fun that comes from that. And one of the ideas that, that I guess the Argus is just different versions of Randall Patton from various points in his own life. that's interesting to me. That's an interesting concept and an interesting premise. And so if time travel stories are something that interest you, you might consider picking up Argus this week. All right, the next book that I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called Tiger Division, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Fierce fighters. The defenders of South Korea take center stage. In their first ever solo series, you'll learn more about... Oh no, Leo didn't want to share his space on the couch with Daisy. Leo, be a good boy, okay? Sure. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, in their first ever solo series, you'll learn more about Taeguki, a powerhouse with a heart of gold, Lady Bright, a card-wielding sorceress, Mr. Enigma, a street-brawling demigod, and the General, a living totem, and Gunner 2, an android with an attitude. They're joined by fan favorites White Fox and Luna Snow to form an unstoppable team, created by our own unstoppable team, writer Emily Kim and artist Kreese Lee. This is one epic series you won't want to miss. Okay, so this is the first team appearance of Tiger Division, a group of South Korea superheroes. I did a little research on this. Apparently, most of these characters have all had first appearances already in other books, but there is the possibility of a first appearance in this book, a team member that we don't know of who's going to appear for the first time in this book. So if that type of first appearance is interesting to you, you might at least want to keep this book on your radar and find out if people seem to be excited about this first appearance, if it even exists, on the secondary market, and maybe pick one up to have for your collection if it turns out to be a book that people are interested in. The next book I want to mention to you is Secret Invasion, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. The Skrulls are back in a giant-sized issue kicking off an all-new 5-part miniseries. When Maria Hill detects the merest hint of Skrulls, she acts quickly to put her defensive plans into action. And when Nick Fury is sent to investigate a Skrull sighting in Iowa, he finds the last thing he was expecting. Our pale blue dot is in their sights, and this time, Earth's oldest defenses won't work. Find out who you really trust. The invasion begins now. All right, well, I mentioned this book is because there is a Secret Invasion television series that will be coming on Disney+. Most people already know about this. So if you're looking for a comic book, if you have like maybe no experience with anything Secret Invasion and you want to get a little bit of information about it, I don't think it'll tie in directly to the series, but it'll probably give you the gist of the idea of who the Skrulls are and what they do on Earth and why it matters. And so it might be a nice little comic book companion to the television series, which will be coming. So that's why I mentioned it to you this week. The next book I want to mention is Hulk, issue number 10 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Hulk Planet, Part 2. Starship Hulk has found what should be the ultimate paradise, an entire planet of Hulk-like creatures thriving under the heat of a gamma star. But Bruce can't shake thoughts of the past or the nagging suspicion that Monolith isn't being totally honest about what she wants from the Hulk. And then there's the matter of the planet's welcoming committee. Okay, this was a tough one for me this week. Hulk has been on my poll since issue number 1, but last week I took it off my poll. I also took Thor off my poll. I'm trying to minimize books, and these Donny Cates books are, I've mentioned this before, are waning for me. So I decided to strike them off. However, I might still pick up Hulk issue number 10. Why? There's the possibility of first appearances in there. This is a planet of gamma irradiated monsters. And so there's likely to be characters that we haven't seen before. Now, will we ever see them again? I don't know. Will they have any purpose in the future? Who knows? But there might be something there. And a planet full of gamma irradiated monsters and the Hulk. I mean, I'd be interested to see what kind of awesomeness can come out of that. What kind of awesome fighting, what kind of awesome circumstances come from that. And Donny Cates is really good at that. So yes, the story might be cool, and yes, the story might be awesome, which is the word I like to use when referring to Donny Cates. And there might be a first appearance or two in there. Whether or not anything comes from it, who knows? But if these type of things interest you, I like, even though I took it off my list, I might still pick up this issue this week just to have, just in case. But I'm not super excited about it, and I'm just about ready to stop collecting Hulk altogether. The next book I want to mention to you is Deadpool, issue number 1 from Marvel Comics. Here's the description. Marvel's top merc is back in business. We all know Wade Wilson is one of the top mercenary / assassins in the Marvel Universe, even if he is simultaneously the most annoying one. But he's pushing to make that recognition official as he auditions for the elite group known as the Atelier, something like that. Now he has 48 hours to kill one of the world's most famous supervillains. Only problem? He's been kidnapped, and something strange is growing inside him. Things are going to get gross as writer Alyssa Wong and artist Martin Coccolo take out their pent-up aggression on everyone's pizza-faced, jabber-mouthed, misguided, hate-to-love, love-to-hate fave, Deadpool. Parental advisory. Okay, well, this one is a simple one to talk about. Do you like Deadpool? Here you go. Here's a new Deadpool series with a new issue number 1. I doubt there'll be very much spec or value on the secondhand market, but Deadpool's fun. Deadpool's entertaining. If you're entertained by Deadpool a lot, you might seriously consider picking up Deadpool issue number 1 this week. The next book that I want to mention to you is a new book. It is Quick Stops, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Dark Horse Comics. Here's the description. Enter the Askew-niverse. When pop culture nuisance Kevin Smith's brand new anthology series opens for business, telling tall tales from the Jersey world of his classic comedies. In this premiere issue, Chronic Con guest of honor Holden McNeil tells Alyssa Jones and a packed podcast audience his story of going green with legendary loiterers Jay and Silent Bob in the Quick Stop cooler, and how it directly led to the birth of his Bluntman and Chronic comic books. Black and white comics like the Clerks films, More Misadventures with Jay and Silent Bob, contains references to Kevin Smith's films like Clerks, Dogma, Chasing Amy, Mallrats, and Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Okay, bottom line with this book, are you a fan of Kevin Smith and the work of Kevin Smith? If you are, then I would say that Quick Stops is a book for you. If you don't like Kevin Smith, don't buy this book. Just that simple. All right. The next book I want to mention to you is a new book. It is called The Ones, issue number 1 of a 4-issue limited series from Dark Horse Comics. Here's the description. From award-winning writer Brian Michael Bendis comes the next best awesome super team to end all super teams, The Ones. Every single person in every mythology that was told they were the one are brought together for the first time to defeat the one, the actual one, the real actual one. This amazing new vision is brought to life by wonderkind artist and co-creator Jacob Edgar. Watch as he brings explosive comics splendor to this big new world. Think Good Omens meets Ghostbusters meets the Atom Project meets The Goonies meets Everything Everywhere All at Once meets anything else you've ever liked. Okay, well, this is interesting for 2 reasons. One, it's a brand new world, brand new universe with brand new characters, and that's always worth at least knowing about. And also, this is written by Brian Michael Bendis, who is I don't think it's too big of a leap to say that Brian Michael Bendis is a legend in the comic book industry. So anything that he does is worth taking time to pay attention to. And this is a brand new title with brand new characters from a legendary writer. Something to pay attention to and at least have your radar on this week. Okay, one more honorable mention, which is Hell to Pay, issue number 1 from Image Comics. Here's the description. The Shrouded College will give you magic, but you'll incur a debt. Until it's paid, you belong to them. Married couple, Maya and Sebastian Stone, took that deal. They have worked for the college ever since, using their new abilities to track down 666 cursed coins. Quirrach, aka the Devil's Dollar. Only a few remain. The stones are almost free, but the devil's in the details. Hellboy meets Indiana Jones in this supernatural adventure from Charles Soule and Will Slimey. Okay, so sounds like a fairly interesting premise. Not like crazy exciting about the premise, but it sounds like a fairly interesting premise. The main reason I mention this book this week is writer Charles Soule. Now, there may have been a time where people could have written off Charles Soule, and although he's done a lot of different things with a lot of success, people could have been like, he's just the Star Wars guy. I'm not a Star Wars fan. I don't care about Charles Soule. But if that was your attitude and 8 Billion Genies didn't change your mind about that, I don't know what to tell you. Because 8 Billion Genies has been like kind of sort of the phenomena of 2022. It's been a big time indie book that people are really, really excited about. And of course, it's from Charles Soule. So you can't discount him as a writer at all. You must stand up and take notice. And so the Charles Soule of it alone is reason to consider picking up Hell to Pay this week. All right, those are all my honorable mentions. That leads us to the final book that I'll be talking about today, which is my just one book pick of the week. And that book is Behold Behemoth, issue number 1 of a 5-issue limited series from Boom Studios. Here's the description. House of Slaughter's Tate Bromble brings his first original series to Boom Studios alongside red hot artist Nick Robles, or Robles. Yes, one of those two. Grayson's world is crumbling following his brother's sudden and mysterious death. His sleepless nights are haunted by vivid nightmares of a terrifying monster, pushing him to the brink of losing both his sanity and his job as a social worker. But he's truly shaken to the core when his newest case, a young orphan girl named Wren, is found at the scene of a brutal murder just hours after meeting Grayson. The line between nightmare and waking life blurs as Grayson soon discovers that the monster from his dreams might be real, a mythical, ancient beast that is bringing about the end of the world, with shocking connections to both him and Wren. Okay, so I mentioned this book for a few reasons this week. One, the premise sounds legitimately interesting to me. There's something about like the mystery and the supernatural kind of thing and the horror kind of thing going on there that I am interested in. So premise alone, check. I have to admit, I have a massive bias for this book this week. And that bias goes back, I should say, to my love, which you all know exists, for James Tynion IV and Something is Killing the Children. Now, more James Tynion IV than Something is Killing the Children. Part of the reason this book interests me is because of writer Tate Bromble and artist Nick Robles. These are two people who have been associated with James Tynion IV. Tate Bromble wrote the first arc of House of Slaughter, and I believe is going to be writing the third arc of House of Slaughter. So working with James Tynion on a Something is Killing the Children related book gives Tate Bromble some stock, so raises his stock a bit for me, or her. I'm actually not sure if Tate Bromble is a man, their stock for me. And then also Nick Robles did a series of covers that were gold foil exclusives for the Onion Club, which is a top tier group of James Tynion IV's Empire of the Tiny Onion Substack. These covers I thought have been really good. The art has been, I like it a lot. And once again, just the association with James Tynion IV is enough for me to stand up and take notice. So yes, there was a lot of bias, personal bias. And once again, these just one book picks are personal picks. They're not necessarily for everyone. But yes, my personal bias makes this my personal pick because I am interested in the work they are doing through their association with James Tynion IV. But then once again, I have to also make sure to emphasize the fact that the premise does sound interesting to me. So to me, this is one to pick up. Pick up issue number 1. If you don't like it, file it away and forget about it. If you do like it, it's only a 5-issue limited series. It's a low commitment. It's not going to be something that's going to, frustrate you that you're like, I'm 15 issues into it. Why have I done this to myself? So there's a lot of things going for it this week, and that is why it is my just one book pick for this week. All right, that's it. If you have any thoughts about my list this week, let me know down in the comments. If you like this content, likes are appreciated by me. And if you haven't already subscribed, I invite you to do that right now. As always, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.